Hey friends, welcome. Today I just want to share with you a story that I found really insightful and it made me think a lot. This story illustrates very well this concept of life being a single player game, which is a statement shared by Naval Ravikant. This story made me understand better and from a different and new angle this concept of life being a single player game. I found this story from a tweet of the renowned investor Jim O'Shaughnessy to Naval's tweet, "Life is a single player game." Now I will recite the words of Jim from his Twitter post. The story concerns a man who comes to the door of the law seeking admittance. The guard there refuses to allow him to pass the door, but says if the man waits long enough, someday in the uncertain future, he might gain admittance. The man grows older and tries to bribe the guard, who takes it but does not allow him to enter. The man ends up selling everything he owns, gives it to the guard as a bribe, which the guard also takes, but still refuses to allow the man to enter and says, "I'm only taking this bribe so you do not abandon all hope." Finally, the man is old, ill and about to die, but musters the strength to confront the guard and say, "I've been told that the law exists for all. Why then has nobody else come here seeking admittance?" The guard responds, "This door has been made only for you, and now I'm going to close it forever." He then slams the door and the man dies. So your tweet about life being a single player game made me think about this and how to make sense of it. In my idea, the door in the story is an analog for the gateless gate in Zen, and the guard is a metaphor for consensus reality, to which the man obviously adheres. After chasing entry to the door his entire life, he never even considered that the whole time he was asking permission of the guard. The door itself was wide open and he could walk through it at any time, only without asking permission of the guard. Consensus reality. And since it was only meant for him, it closes at his death. So what? My idea, which your tweet sparked, is a seeker of truth can never gain enlightenment from another or ask permission of another or bribe another or ask another to enlighten him or her, because that's something that cannot be given by another. It can only be earned by the seeker themselves. The door was always open until the time of the man's death, at which time the door was closed and locked forever. The man was looking for instructions, for prescriptions on 10 ways to walk through the door of justice. He was seeking a way in, but asking all the wrong questions. He was stopped by his own reality tunnel belief system that told him he must follow the rules of social convention per force of others to get through the door, when, if he realized that life is a single player game, he would have ignored. By failing to understand that life is a single player game, he adhered to game rules or social conventions and beliefs, which forever blocked him from going through the open door, because he conflated consensus reality with his own reality, leading him to all the wrong paths. You must simply walk through it, the door of the law, or the gateless gate, on your own. This story appears at the end of the book The Trial, which was written by Franz Kafka. Now, two quotes that comes to my mind when thinking about this story. "You enter the forest at the darkest point, where there is no path. Where there is a way or path is someone else's path. You are not on your own path. If you follow someone else's way, you are not going to realize your full potential." By Joseph Campbell. Judge a man by his questions, not his answers. Voltaire. And now I leave you with some words from Kapil Gupta and Naval Ravikant, who also shed some light on this matter.
If you want to be the best in the world at anything, you cannot follow prescription. If you want to be okay at it, then sure, you can follow a prescription. If you want to learn how to lose a pound a month and get in decent shape, then you can follow a calorie counting worksheet. But if you want to be a shredded bodybuilder or an Olympic athlete, you're not going to get there through how-tos. You're going to have to create and forge your own path that is unique to you. Would that be a good way of putting it?
Well, what I will add to that is that one does not have to want to become the greatest in the world. If you look at the lives of human beings, there is intense struggle. The guy who works 3 jobs doesn't want to work 3 jobs. He may not want to become Tiger Woods, but he wants to be beyond being forced to work 3 jobs. What keeps him working 3 jobs is prescriptions. The futility of prescriptions does not just harm one who wants to become world class. It gravely harms the one who simply doesn't want to struggle.
The way I think about it in the business world is that hard work has very little to do with effectiveness. The grocery store owner or the person working at a restaurant might work 60, 80 hours a week, and that might be all Elon Musk is working. But Elon's making a lot more money because of his specific knowledge that cannot be taught, but can be learned on the job if you have a strong enough desire. Because Elon is doing the right things, he is far more effective in earning power. And the right things, at least in business, can't be taught because it's a moving target. You can only give very vague principles that inspire people to head in the right direction, but I can't teach you how to make money or trade the stock market. It's like when people ask you for stock tips. No one who's any good at stock trading gives actionable investment advice in a public forum because all the details are too hard to convey. I can always tell people who ask for stock tips, they're not really serious about investing. People who ask for book recommendations aren't really serious about reading. People who ask, what business should I build, aren't really serious about entrepreneurship. People who say, what career path should I take, they're not really serious about their career. When someone's asking for a how-to in anything, they aren't actually that serious about it. If they were truly serious about it, they would figure it out. But then that leaves the paradoxical question, well, how do I figure it out?
Take the person who, quote, made it and became world class in whatever he did. If he went back and retraced his steps and did everything again the same way, but this time he did it by mimicking himself, he would fail. Even he wouldn't be able to do it. What has to be understood is that where greatness comes from, it's a very murky affair. It is nonlinear. It is unpredictable. Perhaps nature and the universe set it up this way, that you have to jump in. And once you jump in the soup and you're being bombarded through all sides and you live in confusion and you have no idea which way is up, if the obsession is there, then what happens is through some messy process, you find a way. You see light at the end of the tunnel. You forge a path through the jungle. That was not done according to a how. You were flailing the entire time. So there was no how to flail. When you come out through the tunnel and someone asks you how you did it, you have no idea. The thing that's almost laughable is when you ask a great athlete, can you show me how you did that? They won't come on and say, I have no idea. They will provide you with some semblance of an answer, which is a non-answer. And what they will do is, because there's a gun pointed at their head and their back's against a wall, they will create the highlights. When the human being who watches that follows the highlights, he misses. And the reason that he misses is because it's all the small things.
I can't watch Roger Federer play tennis and swing the racket the same way, nor will any description from him on how to swing the racket get me to swing it the right way. Then we go to intellectual efforts. We start asking Warren Buffett why he invested in a company, and there he can try and create a mental construct as to how he thinks and how he invests in the company. But there are just as many details to Warren Buffett's activities when he decides what to invest in and how he lives his life and how he thinks, as there are to Roger Federer's body running around a tennis court hitting a ball. The details are not transmissible. They're not copyable. You can be inspired to try it yourself, but without that sincerity, that obsession, you won't get there.
Not only are the details not transmissible, the details are not even knowable.
So Warren and Roger don't even know it themselves.
Absolutely not. No great artist knows. The things that you do greatest are the things that you know not how you do them.
I would argue that you're not even there when you do them. You're not consciously thinking about it. I find that when I'm speaking, I do best when I'm not thinking about what I'm going to say, and I don't even hear what I'm going to say until it comes out of my mouth.
Finally, my takeaways are the following. Be conscious of what is truly real. Do not mix objective reality with the social convention rules. Forge your own path rather than keep asking others on how to do things forever. And if there is sufficient obsession, you will find a way. Thank you.